All right, 9 o'clock. Welcome to Daybreak here on our streaming app. We're here till 9:30 every single weekday. It's a big day today ahead, not only for the Bills, but for all of Western New York for that matter. In less than an hour, the team will cut the ribbon on its brand new $2 billion stadium. Hundreds of people are expected to gather outside of the new Highmark Stadium this morning as the team marks a new chapter in its rich history. And we want to take you out there right now and check in with Melissa Holmes, who's live at the stadium with the latest. An exciting morning, Melissa.
It is an exciting morning, Pete, and I'm really glad to be here, to leave the station in downtown Buffalo and to come back here and be here in Orchard Park at the new home for the Buffalo Bills. Let me tell you where I am right now. This is actually kind of the backside of the stadium, although even with this entrance and this big walkway, it looks like it could be the front. But this is kind of in between ECC campus and then the backside of the stadium. So Abbott Road is on the other side of this. So that's where we are right now. And then coming up at 10 a.m., I'll be heading over to the Family Circle, as they like to call it. That's where those 3 bison statues will be, and that's where the mini field is. That's where the press conference and the ribbon cutting will be happening with all of the dignitaries. And so we'll be looking forward to that, and that's starting at 10 a.m. And of course, we'll be carrying that live on Channel 2 and right here on our streaming app. But right now, our Rob Hackford is actually inside the stadium. He's one of the lucky media members that's getting that tour of what it looks like inside. And we're not exactly allowed to show you that video until about 11 o'clock this morning. But as soon as we can show it to you, we will. And we all are so eager to see what it looks like inside. So there's a lot happening today. And there is a little bit of excitement in the air right here. I'm sure there will be more, even more so at 10 a.m. Not exactly Bills game day excitement atmosphere because, of course, no folding tables and coolers of beer right now. But you can feel it in the air that this is going to be a big day for Bills Mafia, for the entire team, and all of Western New York. You know, Pete, there was a lot of talk for years about the Bills potentially moving out of Buffalo. And what's happening here today with the ribbon being cut on this brand new stadium, it is ensuring that this team stays in Western New York for at least another 30 years and hopefully so many more years after that. Now let's take a look at exactly what it took to get here. Some of the Bills by the numbers, shall we say. It's a $2.1 billion stadium. And that is the estimated total cost for this new building. 3 years and 18 days between the first shovels in the ground and this moment today. And according to project leaders, as many as 1,600 workers were on site each day to make sure that this massive project could stay on track. And now officials will cut the ribbon on a venue that will seat more than 60,000 fans. Yeah, not as many as the old one, but still 60,000 fans, not just for Bills game day, but also for other events and concerts in the future. And boy, it has been kind of a marathon and a sprint to get to this point. The team's new home going from concept to reality in about 5 years or so. And 2 on your sides, Rob Hackford takes a look back from when the Bills planted a flag in a parking lot that was actually marking midfield.
The first taste of the Buffalo Bills' new stadium came in October 2022, when the team and their design partner Populous released the first 2 artist renderings. Just 3 months later, in November, a midfield marker was placed in the parking lot across the street, and the finish line flag started flying. Erie County's stadium discussions would play out over the next few months into the new year.
You think you'll have enough oversight, though? Because some people have said the Bills will have too much control.
No, I believe we will have the correct oversight that's needed.
By May 4th, the deal was done and the dig site was being tested and prepped, getting ready for groundbreaking on June 5th, 2023.
2, 1.
The golden shovels, the white hard hats.
We saw how important this was to this community.
The big dig and blasting would follow, finishing up in October that same year. Concrete would start being poured in December, during which time and throughout that football season, several people would be charged with trespassing, and Feed the Pit was trending.
Feed the Pit! Do it! Go! allegedly going into the pit is going to, keep the Bills' winning streak alive.
The first structural steel was raised in February 2024. The foundation finished in May, and the stadium looked like this about 1 year after groundbreaking.
Very few people will be able to get up here prior to 2026.
At this point, the price tag for the Bills' new home had already gone up from $1.4 billion to $1.7. The final tally is around $2.1 billion. More than 22,000 pieces of steel and countless concrete risers would continue going in over the next 6 months, slowly transforming this construction site into a stadium, marked by a topping out in April 2025.
And this is going to be a symbol of the Buffalo community and the Buffalo Bills all over the globe for decades to come.
Through the year, steam really started picking up, with the facade of the new stadium going up and a tremendous amount of work going on inside. The first seats were installed in May. By October 2025, the lower bowl was filled and the grass field was going down.
This starts to make it look and feel like the football field that we all were hoping to see.
December of last year, a small fire didn't stop construction, although 2 months later, graffiti briefly did. This spring, we got the most complete look inside the new Bills home, from the field to the video boards, every seat installed, and the suites being finished.
We are just weeks away from letting all the Bills Mafia in here to see that. So extremely excited, head still down because we got work to do.
That work would pay off, with the Bills securing their certificate of occupancy right on schedule. And while there is still some work to do before the team takes the field, the birth of a new family in the shadow of the team's new home has Bills Mafia eager for a housewarming. On your side, Rob Hackford, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you very much, Rob and Melissa. And now it's time to bring Natalie in. And Natalie has already been out there for several hours this morning and talking to the man in charge of the project from the state's perspective. Good morning, Natalie.
Yeah, hey there, Pete. Good morning. Yeah, it's nice to see some people showing up for a while. For the past couple of years, it's just sort of been me and the construction workers that are ever out here this early. So it's been very exciting to see some more people showing up, and I'm thrilled, and I'm sure most of Western New York is thrilled for that first game day where this place is going to be packed. But for now, we'll rein it back in for this ribbon cutting where there will be plenty of people in attendance. And one of the people I got the pleasure to speak to this morning is the president of the Erie County Stadium Corporation, Steve Rinaldi, and he has been really instrumental from the very beginning of this project. He's spoken about how much work has gone into this stadium. The fact that they've been able to keep it on time has been very exciting. It's one of the largest projects to ever hit Western New York, and it has had thousands of Western New Yorkers here on the job site, all very proud in order to be able to work on this project. But he also said that it was really integral for the economy here in Western New York, and he spoke to us a little bit about that earlier today.
It was a big part of the governor's intent to make sure that everybody in Western New York got a piece of this. So, a project labor agreement was put in for union workers. We had goals for minority and women-owned businesses. In fact, we've exceeded those goals, right, just here recently. So I think it's as much for the Bills and for the fans, right, to keep this team here, but it's also to make sure that there was an economic development piece to this.
And that was Steve. He spoke leaps and bounds about how exciting it is for these Western New Yorkers to be able to share this experience with their family. He said a lot of the older construction workers are excited to be able to tell their grandchildren that they got to work on the stadium, and the younger guys are just excited to get to be a part of Bills history as they are huge fans themselves. Now, talking about Bills history, we've got someone who's been an integral part of each stadium for quite a bit of time. I'm here going to pass the mic back over to Melissa Holmes. She's going to give us a little introduction here.
Yeah, Natalie, there's a lot of history in the old stadium, and there's even history before that at War Memorial, the old rock pile. And I'm so excited to be joined by someone who has a little history with all of those today. There's a lot of dignitaries here. There's going to be the governor, and there's going to be Bills officials. But there's someone else with a very important title here, and that's usher. And let me bring in a man who knows a little bit about ushering. This is Dennis Manley, who only lives about 5 minutes from the stadium. Yes. But you have been an usher, and you're only a handful of the few left who have been an usher at now all 3 stadiums. So is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
For 54 years of your 77 years of life that you have been an usher for the Buffalo Bills. Tell me about your love for this team, first of all.
Well, it was just great to start at the Rock Pile. I was thrilled to get a job there. And then with the new stadium, it even became better. And of course, I missed about 3 games in all them years, which I'm proud to say.
Just 3 games is all you've missed in 54 years.
Yes, yes. I don't know why my wife didn't let me go to them.
Blaming it on Linda, I see.
Oh, yeah, right. And it's been great. We went through the bad times, good times, the Kelly era, OJ era, and we got the Josh Allen era now, which has got us all pumped up.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're happy to be out here working in that. The stadium's gorgeous.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because you've been lucky enough to meet with the other ushers who said there's about 700 of them, and you were meeting in shifts inside the new stadium. What did you see in there? What'd you think of it?
It's awesome. I can't describe it, and it's so different from the medium. What is it? The second stadium. And it's going to be interesting to work there. It's a whole new treatment with the people. Of course, the tickets are very expensive, so we've got to give them better service, which we're working on that all the time.
How important is that to you to make the game day experience wonderful for the fans, but also making sure that there is some order in there as well and everyone's safe?
Oh, yes. We lots of training. We do it at home and we do it out here. And we want the customer to get the best feeling going to a game, because he's spending an awful lot of money to go to the game. So we call it the customer experience. We try very hard to accommodate everybody and answer all their questions, which we practice on all the time.
And this new one is pretty exciting because even for the fans who are outside at the concessions or maybe using the restrooms, there's a better view of inside down at the field, right?
Oh, yes, they're much better. The aisles are wider and they accommodate more people. There's no confusion. I guess there's a lot of elevators. I heard that there's something like 14 elevators, which people will be able to get around a lot easier.
I want to talk a little history with you, though. I mean, War Memorial, do you have any favorite memories from back at the Rock Pile? And you were there the final year. I know that's so many years ago.
Oh, it was rough and tumble. Let's put it that way. It was nothing to pick up a 6-pack before you went in and bring it in with you. So
I'm sure Bills fans did that.
I'm giving you the atmosphere right off the bat, what we were dealing with.
Yeah.
There was an awful lot of fights and stuff like that, I remember, but everything improves much more every year.
And then what about at the Ralph? Do you have any favorite memories, favorite games, or what was that atmosphere compare? I mean, so many of us have been at the old stadium, but what's your favorite? Or your least favorite?
Well, least favorite was a couple of snowstorms for the playoffs. We used to have to go out and read the styles before we started, and I thought I was in Antarctica a few times when the weather was so crazy. And the comeback game, of course, you can't forget that one. Yeah. That was one of the biggest thrills ever. That, and I'm trying to think of...
Well, actually, that brings up a really good point with the weather. This one, 60% of these seats are going to be covered by the canopy. The wind isn't going to be as much of an issue. The snow melting systems that they've got inside here, that's going to change a lot of what you do and how your experience is as an usher, right?
Right. A lot of our workers they're not going to be exposed to the elements. They're going to be actually inside. Not heated or anything like that, but they're not going to be in the rain, in the snow and stuff, that makes us all very happy because it's very tough in the wintertime to be out here with gloves on and handling tickets and stuff. So it's going to be much more.
And finally, we don't get to talk to ushers very often, so I'm just curious, for you, the game day experience for all of you and all of those ushers out there is important too. What can fans do to make your life a little bit easier?
Just put up with us. We don't give them a tough time, and just understand that we're all learning now. New stadium, we're just new as the fans are.
And so finally, Denny, just explain to me one more time your excitement of being part of this next chapter of the Buffalo Bills.
I'm very excited. I do know it's my last stadium that I'll be working at, unless this one falls apart. But I'm just, it's always an experience. I'm thrilled to be part of the organization. And I'll have to say, the Bills are very good employers, and we love working for them.
Wonderful.
So it's just nice being here.
Well, good luck with this new season, and hopefully you will be able to finally witness what we all want to see.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl.
Oh yes, Dennis Manley, an usher for all three stadiums. Thanks for being here. Really exciting time.
Thank you very much.
All right, Pete, back to you.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have to worry about fans sneaking in six-packs in the new stadium. That's for sure.
No, not at all. But that might be a little bit cheaper than actually buying one back there, Pete.
I think that's a definite. All right, thanks very much, Melissa. We'll check back in a little bit, but stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, but more Daybreak is coming up on the other side. Well, get ready, Bills fans. I know we're talking about the stadium. How about the team? The NFL has given us an update on training camp and a joint practice down the shores of Lake Erie. Bills will welcome rookies on July 21st to St. John Fisher University, and then the veterans join them on July 28th for training camp. The school in Pittsford will host the Bills for the 25th year in a row. The Bills are also taking a trip down to Cleveland. They'll hold a joint practice with the Browns and on August 20th, and then 2 days later, they will face the Browns in that preseason matchup August 22nd. The Bills' first preseason game and their first in the new Highmark Stadium will be August 15th against the Panthers. And, of course, the red and blue scrimmage on the 8th. But a lot of football to be had. You know, it's days like this that make me feel old because we start talking about the history, 25 years at St. John Fisher. It seems like yesterday I was covering them at Fredonia.
Fredonia, and then before that was Niagara Falls, right?
They were at Niagara for a little bit, and they used to also hold training camp practices sometimes in the parking lot at War Memorial Stadium. This is going way back before my time. But
so you did cover them at Fredonia?
At Fredonia, yeah, when I first started here at Channel.
And that's when they did, first of all, training camp back then was like 6 weeks, and they did 2-a-days.
And they'd work themselves back into shape.
Because
And there was always someone on staff that would be in charge of the golf cart at the end of the evening to go downtown, corral the guys back to training camp. To say they're getting nibbles and stuff.
Gotcha.
Got to eat some food down to the local fair.
That's
but
fun.
when you talk about what do we bring Melissa in? She's out at the stadium, and we were talking about the history of things and the history of the training camp, but also Melissa, the Dennis was talking about the old rock pile and Highmark Stadium and the new. When you talk about the first stadium began with a work project back in 1939 under the New Deal. And then
that was a New Deal project?
It was a New Deal project, the rock pile. And then when they opened Rich Stadium, as it was called, that was the first stadium that they sold naming rights to, Rich product. So a lot of history over the years, and new history about to begin in just about 40 minutes from now. It's got to be getting exciting, Melissa.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be exciting, and I can't wait to get over to where the ribbon cutting is happening, and we will be hearing from lots of dignitaries about how wonderful this is going to be. We all know it will be a game changer for the Buffalo Bills, for the team, for Western New York and the community surrounding this stadium. But yeah, we all want to get inside and see it. It's a lot of our taxpayer dollars went into this $2.1 billion stadium, and ticket prices have been, a point of contention here, and that you've got to buy the PSLs that range from lowest $1,500, but up to tens of thousands of dollars for PSLs, and then you're buying your season tickets on top of it. And then when Bills fans sell those tickets to others so that others can get in, they are going to ask for a premium so that they can help to get some of their money back for the PSL. So it might be some time before fans can actually get into the stadium and afford it. So then you're thinking, okay, the red and blue scrimmage, how can I get tickets to that? Or even paying for a preseason ticket. I had a friend who wanted to sell me a preseason ticket for $200 for a preseason game. But, you know, if you really are a Bills Mafia fan and you want to get in and you see it, you will pay a pretty penny. Then there's also the question of the tours inside here that will be open to the public. Now, if you go to the Highmark Stadium website, there is information about various tours that are available for school groups, for corporations and businesses, and possibly for the public, but you might have to pay for those, which is sometimes a little frustrating also for fans to hear because, well, we paid for this stadium, so why do I have to pay for a tour inside? We're waiting for more information about exactly when those tours will be available and how much they'll cost. But as for ticket prices, that's something that our Dave McKinley looked into, and he's got reaction from fans.
We are long past the days when you'd rush down to the ticket office, cash in hand, to grab seats for Bills games. Longtime Bills fan Russ Anderson remembers.
Everything's digital now. Truth be told, the Bills really don't have that many tickets to sell you, and part of that can be explained through some math.
The new stadium has only about 60,000 seats. Season ticket holders who bought seat licenses account for close to 54,000 of those, with 3,700 more held for the visiting team and marketing, and 1,700 or so for suite holders. That accounts for just about every seat here. It means the secondary market is about your only option. We checked several ticket sites today where we found prices for that Thursday night home opener ranging from $600 to $700 for the cheapest seats, with the asking price for the best ones to be over $3,000. Here, you are buying resale tickets from season ticket holders, you know, like Russ here.
I believe it's 107, row 30, seats 17 and 18.
Well, let's see. Currently on the secondary market, his tickets for the regular season opener would fetch, oh my, $2,000 a piece.
When you see what they go for, it's tempting.
Deal or no deal, Russ.
There's no way I can sell it. There's no way. I can't miss that. Absolutely not.
He says he might sell you a preseason game. The cheapest tickets we found for those are around $170. Of course, if you want, like so many others, just to be among the first to get inside and see the place without breaking the bank, there will be the red and blue practice planned for early August, and which traditionally has been free.
On your side in Orchard Park, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.
So I think the ticket prices are kind of the new normal now. And it's a different kind of mentality than Bills fans have been used to forever. Bills fans have been known as just kind of nitty-gritty and, you know, a small market mentality. But now this is the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen. This is the Buffalo Bills with this state-of-the-art monstrosity behind me. This is the Buffalo Bills that can potentially be Super Bowl favorites. And that all comes at a price tag. And so these $2,000 tickets might be the new normal and just a very expensive pill to swallow for Bills Mafia, Pete.
Well, and you're also dealing with a new generation of Bills fans who are used to spending $200, $300, $400 for concert tickets. So, like you said, Melissa, I think the new norm is probably the right choice of words for that.
You see movie posters for concert?
For sure.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, guys, I'm having trouble hearing you. But yeah, it's something that, you know, I guess it's bittersweet that, you know, we've got something to be really excited about and something to show off to the world. But it comes at a price tag that really will price out a lot of families also. If you have a family of 4, I mean, imagine how much that's going to cost you to go to a Bills game. So it's something that I certainly think that, you know, again, there's something to be excited about, but also kind of is a little disappointing also that it might be out of the realm of possibility for a family to go watch the Bills play in this stadium anytime in the near future, Pete.
Yeah, I don't have the math skills to add that up. So, all right, Melissa, thanks very much. It's going to be an exciting day out at the stadium, but we are going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Well, Natalie, we are just about a half hour away now from the big moment, the ribbon cutting on this brand new Highmark Stadium. You can kind of feel the excitement in the air. There's also a lot of activity, a lot more cars coming and parking because there will be a lot of dignitaries at this ribbon cutting in just a few minutes. And you've been here Seeing this built from the ground up,
Literally from a
Natalie,
pit.
how exciting is it for you?
It's so exciting for me, and I just think like remembering how many people worked on this stadium, right? It's been a lot of cold, really, really chilly mornings with these guys working on the stadium, just me and the construction workers. Then you go to the topping out ceremony, and I just remember seeing them all lined up on the hill, watching that moment to now seeing them here today getting to celebrate this.
Working in 5 degrees to 95 degrees, they have done this. It's something to be so proud of, and our entire Western New York community and the entire Bills Mafia fan base will be so proud of what's happening, and we hope to be proud of the team that's playing inside here too. But join us, WGRZ.com, WGRZ app, and Channel 2 as we cover the ribbon cutting of the new Highmark Stadium at 10 a.m. We hope to see you there.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting moment. We're going to be hearing from all the people who had a hand in it, and, you know, some of the people who didn't have a hand in it but need a pat on the back. But
yeah, well, think about it. Construction lasted through 3 winters.
Yeah.
That's 3 long, cold winters. And here they are on an eternal spring and now summer.
Absolutely. And the Bills are here for at least another 30 years or so.
That's the best news.
Absolutely. Once again, in another half hour, join us for live coverage of the ribbon cutting.